Hey Nerdgenic Nation, and welcome to History Of. I'm your host and resident superhero nerd, Aaron Waller, and this is a series where we do a deep dive into various comic book characters, both heroes and villains, and give a little bit more insight into who they are and why they do what they do. And in today's episode, you're probably asking yourself, if you've seen the thumbnail and the title, who the heck is this character? Aaron, why are you talking about it? But believe me, it will make sense in just a minute. Now, if you're watching this video before the premiere of Marvel's Moon Knight on Disney+, you're probably pretty confused like I said. However, if you're watching after the show is premiered, you've come to the right place. So without further ado, let's talk about Arthur Harrow. Arthur Harrow was created by Alan Zelentz and first appeared in Moon Knight Volume 2, Number 2 in 1985. Dr. Arthur Harrow was selected for the Nobel Prize in Medicine for his work in pain theory. However, another doctor, Dr. Victoria Grail, became suspicious of how his work advanced despite his papers indicating that he had only researched on animals. Dr. Grail would discover and trace documents related to secret experiments by scientists in Auschwitz back to Harrow. These documents would be ordered to be destroyed by the Nuremberg Tribunal and had mysteriously disappeared thanks to a group known as Omnium. And despite allegedly being in Mexico to research jaguars and armadillos, Grail was certain that Dr. Harrow was carrying on the Auschwitz experiments and was sent to the Nobel Committee to interview him and report back to Stockholm. Meanwhile, Mark Spector would be driving when the priests of Khonshu appeared to him, which causes him to crash his car and provide him with mental visions of Dr. Harrow, one of his subjects, Dr. Grail, and a pyramid. Omnium would be alerted to Dr. Grail's location and dispatch agents to kidnap her. But the kidnapping would be spotted by Mark Spector, who would quickly transform into Moon Knight and help free her. At first, Dr. Grail was dismissive of Moon Knight, but when he asked her about a scarred man, she understood that they were both looking for Dr. Harrow and told him about his past. Meanwhile, the most recent human volunteers in Harrow's experiments were tied to a table with electrodes inserted to their body. Harrow would be experimenting on them by irritating a very specific nerve. Then he would utilize stimulation to entirely desensitize their bodies, causing them to feel no pain. Harrow would feel like he was finally on his way to achieving his goal and to convert his process into a chemical formula, which would eliminate the need for wires and electrodes to completely eliminate pain within the body of the user. Eventually, Moon Knight and Dr. Grail would happen upon this lab, and Dr. Harrow would see them through a camera and thus set a jaguar on them. Moon Knight would take out the ferocious cat and find a false wall to which they would be able to escape to the secret lab down below. However, when they arrived, Harrow's patients surrounded them and he ordered them to kill him. Then Dr. Grail would warn Moon Knight to not hurt the innocent laborers that he was experimenting on. However, they found out that even his most powerful blows would not affect them as they felt no pain. Moon Knight would accidentally break one of the arms of the subjects, who never even noticed the injury and realized that he couldn't defeat them without causing substantial damage, so they decided the only course of action was to flee. As Harrow was escaping in a helicopter, Moon Knight was about to use a crescent dart to bring him down. Then he dropped an incendiary device, causing Moon Knight to jump for cover. Harrow would escape and then eventually contact Omnium, who assured him that his experiments could continue in Paraguay. Now, Arthur Harrow has never been seen in any medium besides comics until recently, where he's going to be portrayed by Ethan Hawke on the Marvel Disney Plus series Moon Knight. Though this episode is coming out before the series premiere, we don't really know how accurate he will be to his comic counterpart or if there'll be any drastic changes to the character. Now, in terms of powers and abilities, Arthur is just your run-of-the-mill human, but we can't forget that he's a very talented surgeon and scientist whose work in medicine leads to him being nominated for a Nobel Prize. Though in the comics, he does suffer from something called trigeminal neuralgia, which paralyzes the left half of his face, pulling the left side of his mouth into a permanent snarl and causing him constant agonizing pain. It's a signature look for the character, but not exactly one that sounds particularly pleasant, thus the earlier mentioned experiments to rid the body from pain. And now on to my favorite section of every single episode of History Of, which is the recommended reading. Now, something very intriguing about Arthur Harrow is that he's actually only in a single issue of Moon Knight, which was his debut in Moon Knight Volume 2, which went under the title of Moon Knight Fists of Khonshu Number 2. So this just so happens to make it not only the best, but also the only source to get a lot of information on this character. So if there's a place to start, it's also the same place where you're going to end. But essentially, those are all the major things you need to know about Arthur Harrow in the comics. Did you learn anything in this video you may not have known otherwise? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And while you're down there, be sure to leave me a comment as to any suggestions you would have for any future episodes of History Of. Your suggestions just might become next week's video. But also, while you're down there, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell notification notifications so you miss out on any future videos from me or the rest of the Nerdgenic team. And also be sure to give us a like and follow across all social media platforms at Nerdgenic so you miss out on any special news, announcements, or articles at nerdgenic.com. And if you just so happen to be a very kind member of the Nerdgenic Nation and want to continue to make sure this channel only continues to get better, make sure to check out our recently launched Patreon. But in the meantime, if you want even more video content from us, check out these videos on screen, like my recent video talking about the Robin and Batman comic, which I was so in love with, so make sure you check out that video. Or for you video game fans, check out this video right over here where I talk about the Hogwarts Legacy gameplay trailer that recently came out. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. We really do appreciate it, and we hope to see you in the next video.